Good day. In this video I have 6 older albums and one from 2021. Here we go. First up we have Indecent and Obscene by Dismember. It was released in 93 through Nuclear Blast. And this is the band's second full length and the follow-up to Like an Ever-Flowing Stream. It contains 9 tracks and has a runtime of about around 35 minutes. And Like an Ever-Flowing Stream was one of the first death metal records I ever bought, and for some reason I have never owned anything else by the band. And when this popped up on Facebook Marketplace, I picked it up because I wasn't sure if I ever heard it. And when I listened to it, I have spun it maybe 20 times since I bought it, and I think it's definitely on par with Like an Ever-Flowing Stream, although it does not have a super hit like Skinner Alive, but all tracks are very good and very good stuff. I kind of remember some of the tracks, but don't remember the album as a whole, so I'm pretty sure I haven't heard it in its entirety before. And the vocals from Matti Kärki is a little bit brighter, I think, but other than that, it's classic old school Swedish death metal with a lot of cool riffs and the bass or guitar tone. And this en svensk klassiker means a Swedish classic. It's not supposed to be there. Oh. And the guy I bought it from put it there, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I kept it. Continuing on with my bolt thrower purchases, I have Realm of Chaos, War Master, The Fourth Crusade, Those Once Loyal, and now I also have For Victory. It was released in 94 through Eric, and this is the band's 5th full length and the follow-up to The Fourth Crusade, and it contains 10 tracks and is around 39 minutes long. And this is another very solid release from the band. It's sounds pretty much pretty similar to The Fourth Crusade. It's slow to mid-paced death metal with a lot of excellent riffing and pummeling drums and Carl Willits screaming about different phases of war, and it's very enjoyable. I don't know if I think this is better or worse than any, because all these 5 I have from Bolt Thrower are very good stuff, and I'm trying to get everything by them because you know what you get, and it's great. Next we have Infested in the album called Ye Satan. It was released in 99 through Invasion Records, but this is a reissue from the year 2000 put out by Unveiling the Wicked with a different cover artwork. And I don't remember if I ever... This is part of the original artwork. I don't know if I ever bought this back when it was released and have sold it, but I bought this along with the Indecent and Obscene because I did not have it in my collection. And this band was formed in 94, and this is the band's second and also final full length, and consists of Don Svane, famous from Edge of Sanity, and a bunch of other bands doing pretty much everything except vocals, which is done by former Marduk vocalist Andreas Axelsson. And this is 10 tracks, including a cover of Black Knight by Deep Purple. And it has a runtime of about 35 minutes. And this sounds pretty much like D-side, but with some added Swedish old school death metal in the mix. Very crunchy guitar tone. So if you like Swedish old school death metal and D-side, and have not heard Infested, check this one out. Next we have Dahmer by Macabre. This was released in year 2000 through Decomposed and Hammerheart Records. And this is the band's third full length. And I have talked about and showed Sinister Slaughter, Murder Metal, and last year's Carnival of Killers in previous videos. And this is a concept album about deranged cannibal serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer that haunted the American Midwest in the 80s. And contains 26 tracks. And that's a runtime of 52 minutes. And the tracks is built from short stories of his upbringing, his stint in the army, his crimes, trial, conviction, death, and the aftermath. And as always with Macabre, there's a lot of variety, but this is more varied than Carnival Killers that came last year. There are some fast songs like the opener Doggats and the very slow and heavy second track Hitchhiker. And there are some really silly tracks like Jeffrey Dahmer and the Chocolate Factory, and my favorite, Coming to Chicago, which is a spoof of Hillbilly Coming Around the Mountain, but with slightly different lyrics. And not all 26 tracks are good, but there is nothing that ruins the album. And while a lot of the tracks work on their own, everything is better if you listen to the whole album in one sitting. And I think this is my second favorite from the band after Sinister Slaughter. But everything Macabre has put out is great. This is Resurrection Through Carnage by Bloodbath. It was released in 2002 through Century Media, and this is a 2008 reissue. And Bloodbath was formed by Catatonia members Jonas Renkse and Anders Nyström, along with Mikael Åkerfeldt from Opeth and Dan Svane, which I mentioned earlier. And this is the band's debut full length and contains 10 tracks. It's about 41 minutes long, and this is old school death metal, but it's quite polished while still having extremely fuzzy guitar tone. And the guitar tone works very nice in the mid-paced and slower parts, like the opening part of my favorite track, the track number 9, Like Fire. It's an awesome track, but when they speed up things, like in Ways to the Grave, it gets a little bit too blurry at times, for lack of a better word. And on this CD, Dan Svane plays the drums, Åkerfeldt does the vocals, and the dudes from Catatonia handles the guitars and bass. And I've never been that fan of Åkerfeldt's growling. It's decent, but some people will argue that he's the master of growls, but I don't agree. I don't know what it is, but something is slightly off-putting. But as a whole, this is a fun listen, but Like Fire is excellent, and the opening riffing and stuff is makes it worth owning, in my opinion. Next, we have Impressions in Blood by Vader, released in 2006 through Regain Records. And I've talked about a lot about Vader in previous videos, and Litany being one of my all-time favorite death metal releases. And I discovered the band around the time it was released and pre-ordered Revelations, which was underwhelming. And after The Beast, I kind of gave up on the band, but really enjoyed the EP, The Art of War. And I did rediscover the band after the excellent Solitude in Madness from last year, and have started to buy everything I can with the band. And this is the band's 8th full length, and it sounds very similar to Art of War, because they were released, I think they were released the same year. And it's great. It's 11 tracks, including an interlude intro between day and night, and this is running time of 37 minutes, and it's a little bit more varied than Solitude in Madness. It's not full steam ahead all the time. There are some slower tracks like Predator, but mostly it's very fast-paced death metal with a lot of thrash riffing, excellent vocals and drumming, and it's excellent. It's not as good as Litany, but I actually think this is slightly better than Black to the Blind, which was my second favorite of the band, but I have not heard everything yet. But it's very, very, very good. So if you liked Solitude in Madness from last year, I think this is slightly better. So check out Impressions in Blood. Next we have Severed Monolith by Gorphilia. It was released in 2017 through Dark Descent and Misako Un Ojo, but this cassette was released through Extremely Rotten Productions in 2009. And this was the band's second full length, and last year's release, In the Eye of Nothing, was one of my favorite records from last year, and I had never heard Severed Monolith in its entirety before, but since I enjoyed In the Eyes of Nothing so much, I picked this one up also. And it contains 10 tracks, including 3 short instrumental pieces. And it's a running time of about 43 minutes. And listening to this one, it sounds very similar to In the Eye of Nothing. It's US death metal, and some people describe it as the best Morbid Angel record in years. Since I'm not a huge Morbid Angel fan, I would say this is the best Morbid Angel I have ever heard. And it's very, very nice riffing, excellent drum work and vocals, and it's a great mix with blast beats, mid-pace stuff, and slow, crunchy. It's excellent stuff, and the production is fantastic also. And if I had to choose between this and In the Eyes of Nothing, I think In the Eyes of Nothing is slightly better. And the tape is on blue. Last but not least, we have Necrosis by Asphyx. It was released just yesterday, so I haven't time to listen to it that much. I have maybe listened to it 6 or 7 times. And as I said in my previous video, Asphyx was a new discovery for me. So far I have only heard Death Hammer and Incoming Death. And this one did not disappoint. It's 10 tracks and around 50 minutes of death doom, and all tracks are good, and most of them are mid to slow paced as usual, with some occasional speed bursts. And Van Drunen's vocals are excellent as always. It's amazing that he sounds almost exactly the same like he did 30 years ago. And my only complaint is that I wish they could speed up things a little bit more than they do, because the fast parts they add another dimension. But the riffing and everything is great, and This is the only record I have heard from 2021, so it's my favorite so far. But I predict this will feature in my top 10 because I really enjoy it. And one funny thing is that Van Drunen wears a Graceless shirt, where Walters Know Your Name by Graceless was one of my favorite records of last year. You get a lyric insert with some pictures of the band members. You get a two-sided poster. And the record is on standard black vinyl. So check out Asphyx new release. Still available in black, but all the color variants are sold out. That was it for today's video. Have a nice day.